Good evening, you're now with me, Andy for TVS Nightline, and here are the headlines for tonight. Malaysia's fifth Prime Minister, Tun Ahmad Badawi, has passed away at the age of 85. Global economic uncertainty, fueled by trade tensions, indirectly impacts Sarawak, urging adaptation to maintain competitiveness. Chinese President Xi Jinping will undertake a 3-day state visit to Malaysia starting tomorrow, April 15th. Breaking news tonight as the nation was shocked earlier this evening with the announcement of the passing of the fifth Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tun Ahmad Badawi. The news was shared by his son-in-law, former Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin, through his social media platforms, confirming that the former leader passed away at 7:10 p.m. For more information, let's go to our reporter on the ground, Yusuf Shukri. Over to you.
Thank you, Andy. Now, we are currently still camped outside of the National Heart Institute, IJN, and some of the media practitioners had left while a handful of us are still here. However, the atmosphere here was pretty solemn, I would say, and of course very busy with dignitaries and VIPs making their way here to pay their last respect to Allahyarham Tun Ahmad Badawi. Now, for your information, his body the janazah was brought back to his residence at about 8:57 p.m. located at Jalan Karkosa, and of course, upon receiving the news earlier this evening, our team had rushed to IJN awaiting updates from the ground, and fortunately we had received some words from Khairi Jamaluddin himself, and from his statement, the janazah of Allahyarham Tun Ahmad Badawi, or Pak Lah, will be brought to the National Mosque early in the morning tomorrow to allow members of the public to pay their last respects to the former Prime Ministers whose contributions have touched many lives during his tenure.
Jenazah Tun Abdullah akan diletakkan di Dewan Solat Utama Masjid Negara untuk membolehkan penghormatan akhir diberi oleh orang awam. Dan kita harap bahawa sesiapa yang ingin memberi penghormatan akhir kepada Pak Lah bolehlah datang ke Masjid Negara pada hari esok bermula pada jam 11 pagi hingga 1 petang. Ya, untuk mereka yang non-Muslim, kita minta supaya datang memakai baju yang sesuai untuk masuk ke dalam Dewan Solat Masjid. Kalau tidak, jubah akan disediakan oleh pihak Masjid Negara.
Now, on top of that, Khairi Jamaluddin detailed that the janazah prayer will be conducted after the Zuhur prayers, which is around 1:16 p.m. here in Kuala Lumpur, and then the janazah will be laid to rest later at Makam Pahlawan at Masjid Negara, with the consent of the current Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. Now, on the details of the cause of death, I'll roll the clip from the interview we had with IJN Group CEO Datuk Seri Muhammad Izani Mat Taib and IJN's Head of Cardiology Department. Let's roll the clip.
Masalah utama adalah disebabkan oleh sesak nafas, dan kami merawati dia di sisi kami dengan semua support yang kami ada, termasuk ventilation support dan juga alat-alat untuk membantu tekanan darah dia.
Kemudian sebab keadaan sesak nafas itu menyebabkan organ-organ lain dalam badan pun kurang berfungsi walaupun telah dibantu dengan mesin pernafasan dan ubat untuk jantung dan sebagainya, tapi sebab itu usia memainkan peranan yang besar dalam hal ini, dan sedihnya tak dapat membantu.
Alright, Handy, it has been a whirlwind of a day today with the arrival of the doubles badminton champion around 6 p.m. at KLIA Terminal 1, and then later we were shocked by this news of Lah's passing. And of course, stay tuned to updates from as early as 7 a.m. tomorrow right here on Channel 122 TVS and tvsarawak.my. Yusuf Shukri and Amiruddin for TVS Kuala Lumpur. Back to you, Handy. Assalamualaikum.
Now, global economic uncertainty, fueled in part by ongoing trade tensions between major powers, continues to impact Sarawak, albeit indirectly. Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Rahman Johari Tun Openg stressed the importance of the state adapting to these evolving conditions to maintain its competitiveness and relevance in the global market. He noted that trade conflicts involving major global economies have triggered volatility in the world economy, particularly affecting oil and commodity prices, which in turn have broader implications for the region.
Umpamanya, disebabkan oleh tidak ketentuan ini, harga minyak turun dan harga bahan komoditi pun terjejas. Hari ini harga minyak 60 lebih kurang 65 ringgit US dollar. Walaupun kita jangkakan ia berkisar di antara 85 ataupun 90. Jadinya ada impak dengan kita. Impaknya ialah mungkin menjejaskan pendapatan kita. And we have to adjust ourselves as a result of this uncertainty. Kerana walaupun kita tidak mengekspor di Amerika Syarikat, tetapi keadaan apa yang dibuat oleh dilaksanakan oleh Amerika menjejaskan keadaan ekonomi secara keseluruhannya.
Meanwhile, in his speech during the Hari Raya Aidilfitri event organised by the Sarawak Premier's Department on Monday, Abang Jari said the 13 Malaysia Plan 13MP, which emphasises basic infrastructure, digitalisation and key economic sectors such as green energy and agriculture, remains highly relevant amid the current global uncertainties.
Di bawah rancangan Malaysia kita 13 pada tahun 27 kita tidak lagi banyak berbelanja maulah jambatan, maulah jalan kerana ya dah beres dah. Dan kita gunakan our extra revenue for us to give better infrastructure for our agriculture selain daripada oil and gas. Dan juga the two mega project, that is airport and the new seaport.
He expressed optimism that with strong cooperation and appropriate adjustment to economic policies, Sarawak will remain on track to achieve its 2030 development goals despite global economic uncertainties.
Sarawak is exploring potential revenue-generating opportunities in the water sector through future collaboration with Singapore, particularly via the Singapore Water Association (SWA). According to Deputy Minister for Energy and Environmental Sustainability, Dr. Hazlan Abang Hipni, SWA has brought forward innovative ideas for collaboration, particularly in optimizing water use not only for daily consumption but also for sustainable and high-impact purposes.
He further noted that maximizing the full spectrum of water usage has the potential to generate income through energy production and transportation sectors.
And they have got some ideas because water is not only just for drinking, not just for bathing, because the public will look at it that way. In fact, water can be a source of potential revenue, can also be a source of energy. For example, water has 2 parts of hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. So that is why water is also under our ministry. And also water can also produce energy through the movement of the water currents. Like our dams, our runoff river, our cascading dam, and so on. Water is also a form of transportation. Yeah. And also brackish water, for example, can also be a source of feedstock for our microalgae industry and other industries. Yeah. So you can see a whole range of usage of water actually.
He told this to reporters after receiving a courtesy visit from Singapore Water Association delegates to his ministry on Monday. Meanwhile, Singapore Water Association Managing Director Michael Toast said Singapore is focusing on energy efficiency and decarbonisation and hopes to explore opportunities with Sarawak. He emphasised Singapore's commitment to reducing fossil fuel dependence by adopting renewable technologies and building long-term partnerships with Sarawak.
And I think there are many ways for us to work together, and I think this is a very excellent meeting with the ministry who's in charge of transforming energy here, usage in water. Like in Singapore, we concentrate a lot on energy efficiency, decarbonisation. So we are starting the journey. We'll be happy to work with our partners from Sarawak to study some of these possibilities. Because our challenges are fairly similar. I think we try to reduce the demand of fossil fuel, but try to leverage on new technology which are renewables.
Hello and welcome back. Chinese President Xi Jinping will begin a 3-day state visit to Malaysia starting tomorrow. According to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the visit comes at the invitation of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim. It was also reported that the visit from April 15 to 17 will include a state welcoming ceremony, a meeting with Sultan Ibrahim and a state banquet. Furthermore, Xi Jinping will also meet Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim to discuss bilateral cooperation and regional issues, with both leaders witnessing the exchange of key agreements. This visit marks the president's first state visit of 2025, following trips to Vietnam and Cambodia. Malaysia and China maintain strong ties, with China being Malaysia's largest trading partner for 16 years, with total trade reaching 484.12 billion ringgit in 2024. Now, US President Donald Trump warned on Sunday that no country would be getting off the hook when it comes to tariffs, as his administration signaled that exemptions seen as favoring China would be temporary. The world's two largest economies have been engaged in a high-stakes, rapidly evolving game of confrontation ever since Trump initiated a global tariff offensive, with a particular focus on Chinese imports.
That's right, but the tariffs will be in place in the not-distant future because, as you know, like we did with steel, like we did with automobiles, like we did with aluminum, which are now fully on, we'll be doing that with semiconductors, with chips, and numerous other things. And that'll take place in the very near future. And it'll happen very fast. It'll all happen very fast.
Do you know what rate the semiconductor tariff?
I'm going to be announcing it over the next week.
Tit-for-tat exchanges have seen U.S. levies imposed on China rise to 145%, and Beijing setting a retaliatory 125% ban on U.S. imports. The U.S. side had appeared to dial down the pressure slightly on Friday, listing tariff exemptions for smartphones, laptops, semiconductors, and other electronic products for which China is a major source. Trump and some of his top aides said Sunday that exemptions had been misconstrued and would only be temporary, as his team pursued fresh tariffs against many items on the list.
Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.